Please hang up and try again.
Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
Well, Freak Nation, if you're listening to us on the Freak Radio Network, you cannot see Crash Gladys, and you can't see me, Stat, or Richard C. Suave. Well, for one, because Crasher, she's not here. She's taken some of the night off. You'll see her in some of these interviews and hear her in some of these interviews that we've got coming up. But Richard C. Suave sitting in the catbird seat there with Crash Gladys. Congratulations, Suave, for grabbing that there.
Yeah, I got a promotion. I know where I like it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I look beautiful on camera too. If you're watching us on MAVTV, Facebook pages, YouTube, I look dang good with this beautiful camera.
All right, a big show for
Wait a minute. Just the idea of stepping up in class that grew his beard out. Look at it. He got word that he's going to replace Crash, and he got the beard suddenly. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right. We'll do okay for the next 2 hours. Just don't screw this up, will you, Suave?
Oh, I got this. I got it.
All right. So here we go, man. What the hell were you doing at 17 years old? Were you winning the Daytona 24-hour? Were you winning a Rolex? We'll get to that story coming up. 20 years ago, last week, this happened in NASCAR. You don't want to miss that story. Also coming up, your Daytona 24-hour, one of the four drivers who won the damn thing. Dane Cameron will be here in the Freak Nation. Antron Brown, a big feature coming up of him on MAVTV this week that we're going to get to with Antron Brown, three-time NHRA Top Fuel champion. He's going to be here in the Freak Nation. And in the second hour, Freak Nation, Sara Price, the only American woman to ever win a Dakar Rally stage, she'll be here in the Freak Nation. And your points leader in Arenacross, Kyle Peters, will be here in the Freak Nation. And what did Jimmy Johnson, Ricky Carmichael, Jerry Rice have in common with Van Halen? Yeah.
The dumpster.
Yeah, that's coming up here in the Freak Nation. Play ball with us, man. You're watching us on Facebook Live, on many Facebook pages across the planet, YouTube, and, of course, on MAVTV, listening to us on the Freak Radio Network. Thank you guys for hanging out here in the Freak Nation. Daytona 24-hour wrapped up. Dane Cameron, one of four drivers who won the dang thing. He'll be joining us in moments. But really one of the big stories for us is Connor Zilisch, 17 years old, let this soak in, a 17-year-old won in his class, Statman, the LMP2 class, right?
Yep, LMP2. Had some significant drivers in the car, but 17-year-old kid took him there.
He's been in the Freak Nation a couple of times, but my focus is on 17 years old, Freak Nation. What were you doing at 17? I know what I was doing at 17. I was still trying to figure out my freaking anatomy. I was still figuring out trying to shift in a manual car, trying to catch a pass on a crossing route at 17 years old on the JV team. I don't know what the hell, whatever. This guy goes out and wins the Daytona 24-hour in the LMP2 class at 17 years old, Statman. What were you doing at 17? Richie was just 17 last week, so he's going to be more relatable to this. But, Statman, what the hell were you doing at 17?
At 17, I don't know that the statute of limitations has run out on all of it, but can you imagine Connor Zilisch takes his Rolex for winning the Rolex 24 and puts it in his locker at school and tells the girls, hey, sweetheart, you ever see one of these? There you go.
Oh, okay, Richie, I'm going to jump to you on this one. Does a Rolex 24-hour watch impress you as our residential millennial, the closest one here between the three of us to a 17-year-old?
Oh, no, I don't care. No. Dude, I can't even remember how to tell time just looking at a regular clock, which is why I wear an Apple Watch. It's digital. If it's digital, it's beautiful. I can just read it. I don't have to think when I look at the time. So no, of course not. I don't care. No, I would just be sitting in the box the entire time.
Well, there it is. The only question is whether or not a 17-year-old female is going to find it interesting. You know, I mean, if Connor Zilic wants to impress the girls at his high school, he's got something to do it with. He's got some bling to make it work.
On the serious side of things, which typically we pretend to be serious about 15% of the show, we'll take up most of it right here, Freak Nation. Connor Zilic, at 17 years old, and prior to this race, has done some incredible things in Trans Am. And so much so, when we had him on in October, he was being highly recruited by a team. Were we quizzing him, Richie, about a NASCAR? Yeah, we were. We were quizzing him about a NASCAR team, right?
Correct. Yep.
This is Connor Zilic not even letting us into who he was going with for NASCAR for the 2024 season when we had him on the show in October of 2023. Don't say anything if I bring up a team owner name that talked to you. All right? Roger Penske. All right, so Roger Penske. Oh.
Nope.
No, Penske's
I wish
Ford.
that would be cool, but no,
be a Chevrolet team. Like
So it's got to be Chevy. All right, so you'll be running for Rick Hendrick next year. I wonder who's right. You're gonna be taking. Whoa, you're taking Kyle Larson's ride next year?
Stop
no.
Or Junior Motorsports. He's in Xfinity. Yeah,
That's a good one. That's a good idea. Yeah. I got to think of that one.
Well, Richie, were we far off or what?
Yeah, well, you were right about the Chevy thing, right? Because he ended up signing with Trackhouse, I believe, just a few weeks ago, earlier this year. So he's going to drive in a couple different series as a developmental driver for Team Trackhouse. And Justin Merckx, who he raced against in Trans Am last season, of all people.
This guy is a superstar, and we talked about it in October when we had him on, that what he's doing in that race car. And again, at that age, you're hearing the comparisons, whether it's Kyle Larson or you go way back in the day, whether it's a dude from the 60s or 70s, Mario Andretti. I did see that comparison. I saw that comparison to Connor Zilic. Don't ask me where I found the damn thing, but when I looked at it, I went, and give me the single shot. You got it? It was this look. Huh? Mario and Connor Zilic. But, hey, we said the same thing about Jet Lawrence, superstar in the making, the two-wheel category for Supercross and Motocross last year. Boy, has he come back to earth. But Statman, from what you've seen with Connor Zilic and him ripping it up in Trans Am, goes out and helps this legitimate team win LMP2 in the Daytona 24-hour on Sunday. Guy's got the chops.
Connor Zilic is there, and he was part of the team, drove during the night, and he is part of the winning team. It's one of the faster cars in the entire race. He can wheel anything.
All right, I'm going to go back to the residential millennial. Again, him being closer to 17 years old. Richie, what were you doing at 17 years old? I would think this would be more impressive to you than us two old guys here in Speed Freaks on MAVTV and the Freak Radio Network.
Yeah, the most impressive thing to me about this is usually when you're about 16 and a half or so, you can start to get your learner's permit to drive, right?
Right.
So I'm 16 and a half, and I don't need to drive anywhere. I was like the one person in my entire group of people at school or whatever that wasn't super excited to drive. So I didn't get my license until another year or two later. So I was 16 and a half, 17, Connor Zilic's age. I didn't even have my learner's permit or my driver's license at the time, which is insane to me. And this guy goes out and wins one of the biggest races in all of motorsports at 17 years old. And that's crazy. It's insane. I actually looked this up, and he's actually not the youngest to win, as far as I know. The youngest to win is actually Pato Award and Michael De Quezada, who won back in 2017. They were 17 years old as well, but Quezada was 17 years, 63 days old. Pato 17 and 239. So he's not the youngest, which is incredible. But yeah, doing that, winning at 2017, and he mentions in his press conference, he can't even get a rental car. He's too young to rent a car, but he's going out and winning races and dominating in them.
You can't vote. You can't rent a car. But my gosh, you could wear a $10,000 watch that, man.
And he's going to wear it with pride, too. I mean, we can joke all we want to about him needing to be in high school, but this is something. And you remember this, Kenny, when we were at PRI, a lot of the people were saying, how are we going to get kids involved in this? And Connor Zilic might be one of the answers. Might be one of the bridges to get kids to, how did he do this? What's he doing? Who's this teenager? And he might be the one to help bridge the gap with younger kids getting involved in motorsports.
Listen, what Trackhouse has done over the last, let's say, 4 years, they're pushing all the right buttons and grabbing Connor Zilic as a developmental driver, and eventually I'm sure going to slide him into maybe a truck or Xfinity or the Cup Series.
I hope they allow him to mature as a driver as well as a man, and they don't throw him out there and at too young, and he burns out like a matchstick. That he is allowed to learn and be a driver and come up through the ranks, and not put too much on him too soon.
Real quick, here's where he's going to drive this year. He's going to drive in the Cars Tour, ARCA Menard Series, Trans Am, and IMSA races, and the Craftsman Truck Series and Xfinity Series in 24 and 2025.
Yes. Go drive. Go drive for
everything but taxis.
Freak Nation, how many beers would you have after you win the Daytona 24-hour? We're going to ask your winner next. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios and MAVTV.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas fuel treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system, pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAVTV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAVTV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAVTV, Motorsports Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to WWTRaceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
details.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
All right, Freak Nation. It's awfully brave of Dane Cameron to come into the Freak Nation after several beers, given the fact that the Freaks like to have a little bit of fun when drivers win some races after they had a few beers. Regardless, man, Daytona 24-hour winner with Roger Penske. There's so many notes to hit here, Dane Cameron, with you behind the wheel of that Porsche. The first win for Roger Penske since, what was it, 69, something of that. There's all kinds of numbers that are being thrown at me here, man. But how much of that last 30 minutes, or let me just give to you with your stint in the car, how much do you drive by the rear view mirror in the Daytona 24-hour versus what's in front of you?
Yeah, I would say when you're in a top category, not too much in the rearview mirror, but for sure Felipe there in the last few stints was looking backwards probably more than forwards. He did a fantastic job there to close that one out, and I have to tell you, it's a pretty miserable experience to be watching that deal and just be on the sidelines and not have any control. And it was funny watching Joseph in particular, because obviously he's never really done a ton of sports car racing, especially being in that position. And after the nail biting finish at the 500, he was like, "Man, this is terrible." He's like, "I hate this. I'm so uncomfortable." I'm like, "Yeah, this is what it's like watching the end of the 500, except you're not in the driver's seat this time." So I thought that was really funny watching him squirm. But yeah, I mean, what a wild way to finish it, and really proud to get that one done for Roger and Porsche and everybody there. At a tremendous day. Your
Daytona 24 overall winner, Dane Cameron, joining us here in the Freak Nation. And Dane, you talk about the anxieties that you go through as a driver not in the car. If we had a camera on you, would you be pinched up in the corner like this, or actually pretend driving in the car? What does Dane Cameron do when you're not on that last couple of laps to win that damn race?
Yeah, I was going back and forth between looking away and looking up, and you kind of check in and you'd see it kind of go the wrong way in traffic, and then you start having a bit of doubt and tensing up that maybe it's slipping away, and then you get a couple good breaks in traffic, and then you think, okay, we're all right, we have space, we're good, and then it kind of goes the other way. So it was not very nice, and pretty tense and pretty sweaty there in the corner watching that one unfold. About as sweaty as being inside the car, I'll tell you that much.
Dane Cameron, I'm interested in what was being relayed to Felipe Nasser, how much was going on in the pits there, in that the pit side. I can't think of what they call it now, but how much was the sidelines telling Nasser in the car, the distance to Tom Blomqvist, the time in the race? What was being conveyed to Nasser?
Yeah, well, I couldn't even listen to it, to be honest. I was just sitting there with earplugs in. I didn't even want to hear what was happening. And I think we had a fuel number to hit there at the end. We were both trying to get out in front of the others, so we were a little not short on fuel, but it was a little bit tight. So trying to manage this, trying to count down to the end. You kind of got to leave the guy to do his thing as well. Raced against Felipe for a long time, so I knew he was he's pretty good under pressure in those types of situations. So I was pretty confident in a way, but also our car seemed better suited to the colder conditions, and you just kept seeing it get hotter and hotter and hotter, and I was starting to worry it might slip away from us there right at the very end after being so good through the night and the early morning. So we had Tim Cindric on our car, so obviously hugely experienced and not phased under the pressure of those types of deals. So he was giving Felipe everything he needed to know to keep us going.
And we all like to pat the driver on the back, but there's got to be a lot of pats on the back of the pit crew, the people going over the wall. They got Blomqvist came into the pits leading the race and left in second place because of the work of the pit crew.
For sure. We had a little advantage there in our spot in the pits that we were, further towards pit out. So we could kind of wait for them to go and then kind of jump out in front of them. So that was what we tried to do to execute that, to get that track position, to give Felipe control of the race there. So that worked to perfection. Obviously a huge pressure pit stop for our boys and girls there to execute that one. They did a great job. I mean, we were really great in the pits all day. You know, we had a lot of reliability troubles last year with our cars, and all the Porsches ran really well. So, yeah, I mean, it was definitely a total team effort day, and about as perfect run as I've ever had here in Daytona. So it was great to put that all together.
Hey, Dana, there was a great camera shot of you and Joseph and Matt when the checkered flag originally came out on the TV broadcast. And even the broadcaster seemed to be confused if that was actually the end of the race or not, because it came out a little bit late. Then they took the shot of the three of you in the pits, and you guys didn't seem to know that you had won. What was going on? What was going through your guys' mind there at that point where it seemed like there was some confusion or not, whether or not the checkered flag had officially flown or not?
Yeah, a bit of a weird moment for sure. But I was just watching it on TV in the pits there, and you're watching the timer go down. Felipe just got a little bit of space, so we were kind of exhaling a little bit, and then we saw 2 laps to go, and the next time he comes by, it said checkered. And you've seen this every once in a while in sports car racing, where sometimes it goes a little bit wrong. So we were all kind of just thinking, well, we saw 2 laps, and there was however many minutes left before that, so surely there's one more. And then Kevin was down there from NBC, and he said, no, you guys won, and nobody else was doing anything. So we were all looking at each other, waiting for anybody to start with a real answer of what actually happened. So it was a bit weird. I guess we missed it when he came by and actually won the race. But I guess in another way, it was over 1 lap sooner than we had thought. So yeah, a bit strange there. Not quite sure what all happened there. I wasn't listening to anybody because I was too anxious. But yeah, everybody did a tremendous job, and really proud of how that one worked out.
Dane Cameron and 3 other drivers, of course, your Rolex 24 overall race winner with Penske. And you talk about the crew. Had a brilliant conversation with a 10-year-old, my daughter, and she asked about drivers. She said, how does a driver stay awake 24 hours? I said, well, sweetheart, they have stints. There's usually 3 or 4 drivers. She goes, oh, okay. And I said, but the pit crew, that's a different animal. Tell me, how does the pit crew adjust to this 24 hours? Do you have an A and a B and a C pit crew, or is it the same team that's there for 24 hours?
Yeah, I think for most groups, it's just one group of guys. So super, super tough on the team, these 24-hour events. And also keep in mind, this race started 1:40 in the afternoon, but everyone's there probably 8 o'clock in the morning before that. Now the race is over, and it's almost 4:30, and they're still tearing down. So it's a huge, long day for these guys. And you'd be amazed at the places people can find sleep when they really need it in the middle of the night. So, and it was, I think, really tough in DPI days where we had really short, like 30-minute stints. So now they're a little longer, but yeah, I mean, it's really tough on them to be able to pop into action, do a pit stop, execute perfectly, and then they try to sort of sit down, get a little bit of rest. And then at a moment's notice, it could be damage, puncture, whatever. They got to jump right back up into action and wake up, find all their gear. So, yeah, for sure, it's an endurance race, and it can be tough on the drivers to be mentally focused for as long as we are. But I think it's for sure a much bigger challenge for all the team personnel involved that they go through 36, 48 hours basically to be up from start to finish to make this deal work around the clock.
Dane Cameron, I want to go back to the question asked earlier. Was there ever any explanation made about that confusion at the end of the race? I was at the same place. Like, what just happened?
No, never. At that point, we just moved straight into being happy that it was over and it had gone our way and it was won. So, yeah, we weren't too worried about the details at that point of which one was the right one or whatever. We were just happy that it was over. We knew the Cadillac guys were pretty strong, and obviously traffic can play a big influence in how these races unfold. So I wasn't interested in doing any more laps. That was for sure. I wanted that thing to be over as soon as possible. So, yeah, not quite sure what happened there, if that was just a broadcast thing or whatever that was all about. But like I said, you see it every once in a while, in some of these races. But, luckily nothing silly unfolded, at least as far as, the GTP race was concerned, I guess. So we'll take it. And, yeah, job well done by everybody at Porsche Penske.
How many beers will you have before midnight tonight?
Unknown. Yeah, let's see. I got to get to Orlando at some point, but my wife is here, so I have a driver. So we'll see. We'll definitely be soaking in this one for a while, and I'm happy to be. I live by the workshop in North Carolina, so looking forward to seeing all the boys and girls in the workshop in Mooresville, and really soaking this one in. It's taken me a long time to win this race. I've been doing sports cars for 15, 16 years, and this is the first time I got this one done. So I'm really appreciative to have it, and really going to enjoy the moment for sure.
Well, Dane, we've been doing Speed Freaks for almost 24 years. You've been coming to Freak Nation again, a lot of that 15. It is good to see a Rolex finally on your freaking wrist, man. Go enjoy that watch, or at least pretend that you've got it on right now, and have some beers, and let your mama drive your butt home, all right?
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks very much.
And Freak Nation, 20 years ago, this happened in motorsports that changed how we watch NASCAR and why we watch. That's next. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios and on MAVTV.
Speed Freaks, motorsports radio redefined.
There is less than 1/100th of an inch of motor oil protecting your car's engine. Friction and heat causes engine oil to experience thermal breakdown, weakening its ability to protect the engine and its parts. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is specially formulated to resist thermal breakdown, protect vital engine parts, and extend the life of your engine. It also stops smoking, knocking, and oil consumption in worn engines. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. Keep that engine alive.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up for one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAVTV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAVTV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAVTV, Motorsports Network.
Hey, Dad, what are you going to buy at the store today?
I'm out of Lucas Oil fuel treatment, so let's jump in here and grab us some.
Well, do they have the Lucas Oil Parts Cleaner and Degreaser?
I bet they do.
Well, how about the Lucas Oil Power Steering Fluid?
They'll have that too.
Even the Octane Booster?
I won't be surprised if they do.
My favorite red and tacky grease?
Yes, they will, babe.
Dad, when we're done, can we grab some candy?
Deal, but you gotta share.
Awesome! Lucas works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. 3 things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We're told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code FIT or text FIT to 511-511 and claim 40% off today.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee.
Text BIT to 511-511. Morning Kick. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Thank you, Lucas Oil, for making this thing possible. And Freak Nation, a great website to check out is their website, lucasoil.com, where you can find a lot of products to keep your motorcycles, your speedboats, your trucks, your sports cars, all of them fat and happy. Inside your engine, outside your car, inside your car. Bam. Go to lucasoil.com. We were going to hit this last week on the show. Didn't have time, but still relevant because of the NASCAR Cup season starting up this weekend. Well, the first race is the Clash coming up this weekend on Saturday and Sunday, which, by the way, Richard C. Suave will be out there covering it for Speed Freaks. But 20 years ago, last week, this happened in NASCAR. Well, what was it? It's where they announced the chase and the chase format. And Richie went deep into the Freak archives and found this Speed Channel announcement with John Roberts at the desk. Let us indulge for about 45 seconds with Speed Channel making the announcement of NASCAR going to a chase format 20 years ago.
NASCAR laid out its plans for a 10-race, season-ending chase for the championship on the Nextel Cup circuit. And while many competitors have voiced strong opposition to the change, NASCAR says, just give the chase a chance. Here's how it will work. After 26 races, the top 10 teams, plus those within 400 points of the leader, will be reassigned points, with the leader getting 5,050. Second place will get 5 fewer, third 10, and so on and so on. These teams will battle over the last 10 races of the season. Now, even though each race winner gets a 5-point bonus, many of NASCAR's top drivers say the system is unfair to the leader after 26 events and takes some teams out of the running. Others say it's a much-needed change.
Well, and of course, if you want to have, listen, not a big fan of Michael Waltrip, but Michael Waltrip was there at the press conference, and you got to have a feed of, or you got to have some video of Michael Waltrip. Of course, he's there snorkeling. The fact that they're going to this chase. Oh, Michael Waltrip here in the Freak Nation.
I guarantee you, Mike Helton or Brian France didn't just pop up out of bed one night and say, "I had a great idea." I mean, that took a lot of studying, and they've modeled it and flipped it and turned it and tried to make it not be favorable and couldn't do it. So I'm pretty sure it's well thought out, and I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, hope we didn't lose too many viewers with that exact stat, man. What did he say? There's your mouthpiece 20 years ago, stat man, for the NASCAR Cup Series, buddy.
Yeah, it's even changed 2 or 3 times since then. It's rubber rules, and they make it fit whatever they need to at the time. You know, the old used to report to the red truck. Now they report to the red rules.
I trying to rack my brain again. I can't remember what I did about 30 minutes ago, frankly, Freak Nation. But with us doing Speed Freaks, almost 24 years coming up in June, there have been some changes in NASCAR that really riled up the fan base of NASCAR. One thing that comes to mind was when Toyota was making their way into NASCAR. And that was the NASCAR nation went full bore into hatred for Toyota. What are you doing bringing in this foreigner manufacturing? Well, okay. Don't hear you bitching and moaning anymore about this thing as you're driving your Prius. And then there was this with the chase format. Man, people were in an uproar. But prior to that, some of the same people were griping the fact that your NASCAR Cup champions were running away with it with 3 or 4 races to go. In fact, Richie, we talked about this off mic about it was remember Matt Kenseth the year prior to this, how he won the championship?
Yeah, exactly. Matt Kenseth only won 1 race in 2003. 1 race out of 36. He won that championship by 90 points. The guy who had the most wins that season was Ryan Newman. He won 8 races that year, and he finished 300 points back of the eventual champion, Matt Kenseth. And that's what pretty much instituted the change, is because people were in uproar that, wait a minute, how can you win basically a quarter of the races in one single season, 8 with Ryan Newman, and not win the championship? And Matt Kenseth only had 1 win, and I think he had like 30 top 5 or something like that. It was ridiculous like that. But then, boom, the chase happens the next year.
Brian France, remember that guy? Mike Helton? Well, you certainly remember that guy. The post-announcement press conference, of course, they both had to speak.
Well, what's going to happen is we're going to create more interest.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my gosh. Brian France and Mike
Well,
Helton.
what's going to happen is we're going to create more interest. We're going to make racing even better than it is. And we're really excited about this plan, because what it really does is it allows more drivers late in the year to have a shot at the championship.
What we want to have, and certainly in the Nextel Cup Series, is that excitement that we had in the trucks and the Busch Series this year, every year. And we think this format does it.
Nextel Cup, that rattles against the wall. Nextel Cup.
And I'm curious if it's just an afterthought now. And we make the comparison, rightly or unjustly so, unjustly so, to IndyCar, where IndyCar doesn't need a chase format. It seems to come down to 2, 3, maybe 4 drivers, the last race of the season. Shoot, we were watching the Daytona 24-hour. Statman, Suave, and 2 laps to go. You got 2 cars in a 24-hour race. You don't know who your winner is going to be in the top class. And the other classes were competitive as hell as well. 24 hours straight on a course. And they don't have any form of chase format in the Daytona 24. But I it's like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, Richie, Statman. I don't gripe about the chase format right now. In fact, it took me 15 years to figure the damn thing out, because they kept changing it and having to continue to do my research on really what the hell they're doing and how they get it. Why not? But they've got it. And the popularity, granted, Brian France is nowhere to be seen. Like Helton is nowhere to be seen. Phelps and company are in there doing their best to continue to grow this series. They're trying to chill. Oh, you're going to gripe about Pitbull performing Sunday afternoon at the Clash? I'm sure you are. Same dude was bitching about Toyota coming into the class. The same guy that was griping the fact that they went to a chase format the year after Matt Kenseth won the championship with 1 race win. So settle down, Skipjack. I'm going with this thing. I know where I'm going with it. We're going to touch on it with IndyCar next hour, Stat. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you've got, we ought to have the weekly Kenny rant. I mean, that's last week. I forget what you were ranting about, but you were raving and going on. But I have to agree with you that IndyCar in the last race of the year on several occasions, it's somebody passing someone at the last minute for the championship. And that's back in the field, not at the front of the line. Lewis Hamilton's first Formula One championship was because he passed somebody 1 turn from the end of the race. So, yes, to manufacturing drama is not my main thing in any sort of competition. But a lot of people work for it and appreciate it in NASCAR. So, fine. It's all about the fans, the audience.
Richie, again, the residential millennial who over the last 10 years has really grown into a motorsports fiend. That's all you know. You just know this chase format, and it probably doesn't even come up in your mind that it was a significant change for Cup Series.
Actually, the first year I really started watching NASCAR more intently as a fan was 2004, and it was because they switched from Winston Cup to Nextel Cup at the time. And that's what got me into the sport. And so that's when I became a fan, is basically right at this time. There was also a video game that came out around the same time called Chase for the Cup. And I played that game quite a bit. And so that's why I became a fan, is because of this change that NASCAR made. And so it's pretty much, like I said, all I know is this format. And I think it's worked out pretty well in the last 20 years. And fans seem to like it. I don't think anybody wants to go back. I don't want to go back to the olden times of having a guy who won no races win a championship. That's no fun.
The olden times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that. I just let that lay there on the table. The millennial throws it out there and talks about our past, Kenny, as being olden times.
Hey, they've had so much success with it that the NHRA adopted it, and they're having success of their own, where that last race at Pomona for the NHRA, we are glued to that race. And typically it'll come down for at least one of the pro classes. It'll come down to that last final race of that particular class to win the freaking championship. So say what you will
Can you
about
imagine if Formula One ever did this and they implemented a championship in like their last 3 races or whatever? Oh, those European fans, baby.
Why are you doing Americanizing it, man?
Hey, they did. I keep going back to this. In 21, they did it. Right. The last lap of the season determined the champion.
Statman, Suave, Crasher with the night off. Kenny Sargent here for you. It's called The Life. Antron Brown. It's going to be badass on MAVTV this week. That's next. SpeedFreaks Pitch, Lucas Oil Studios, MAVTV.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to WWTRaceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAVTV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAVTV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAVTV, Motorsports Network.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All-American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
You're listening to Speed Freaks Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Freak Nation coming up June of this year. It'll be 24 years of the Freak Nation. One little radio station in Los Angeles to over 100, including Sirius XM and every audio app that you could imagine. And, of course, now on MAVTV, Antron Brown, 3-time NHRA Top Fuel champion, joining us here in the Freak Nation. May not talk a whole lot of racing. We will talk a lot about how you can get to know Antron Brown coming up February 1st, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on MAVTV. It's called The Life, where they go inside the life of Antron Brown. And frankly, Antron, after watching some of this doc or insight to your life, there's a lot about you that I didn't know that I thought I know. Was it odd for you to be so exposed in this documentary?
Okay, it wasn't odd to be exposed. Like, we're exposed every day of our life at the racetrack. It was just cool for them to bring out a side that people don't get to see. You know what I mean? Basically, from a kid, my whole childhood with my uncle, my dad, my grandpa, and our whole family, background, history, and racing, to see to where we're at now and how I developed to become who I am. And it's a 30-minute segment, man. It was so much to cram into 30 minutes. It's one of those deals where I could see off that show. I'm like, man, this is going to end up turning into one of those series that people are going to see. They want to see everything. And it really shocked me the way it came out. I mean, I was very, very pleased on the job they did. And it was very heartwarming, touching, and is in depth where it left me wanting to know more about myself.
Oh, really? Well, how much of the two-wheel action, whether it's motocross or drag racing, do we get in these 30 minutes? And then how much of outside of the Top Fuel cockpit do we get?
You got a little bit of everything. That's the whole part, is that you got to remember, I have literally my life in racing has been over 26 years. Like, it's been more than that, but it's at 26 years just in my professional career. So we went back from where it started, from the motocross days where they showed a couple clips, footages and stuff like that. They didn't show none of the video clips, wish they did, but it was cool to see those old school pictures back in the day, and then going to the drag racing deal, and then jump right from drag racing into Top Fuel. So seeing all that on how it just all came together, you're like, wow, like, this is a road this cat went down. Yeah, like he didn't stop here, he didn't stop there, he kept one foot over the other, and he made it to the top of one mountain, and he already started up the base of another one, just kept climbing. And that's what I'm doing. It's like, I don't know how many mountains I done climbed on top of, man, but this has got to be like the 100th one, and I'm still going and clicking them down.
You got 100 more to go. It's all good. It's all good. Now, we're talking about The Life on MAVTV with Antron Brown. That's February 1st, 8 p.m. Eastern, when you can see what we are talking about right now. Was there ever a time, Antron, that you said, guys, you can't come follow me here?
The crazy part is I went through some time for 30-minute clips. I filmed with these guys and girls for it was days. It wasn't like, oh, we had 3 sessions. No, it was like days and days and days to get 30 minutes of content. They got some stuff that they could really do some stuff with. And I was like, oh, there they go. Hey, Antron, you got a minute? Oh yeah, here you go. So every long stop of the way while I'm running for a championship this year, there were every league of bound, like things where they caught you at the highs of highs and the lows of lows. And but that's the way life is. That's the way everybody's life is. And I think that's what's going to make this show so special, for people to resonate, and it'll give them a little idea. It's like, hey, he's just like me. I do the same things, but he does this different. Or he might be, I do it just like that. You know what I mean? So I think that's what's going to be the cool part about this show. where I was vulnerable at a lot of different deals, and a lot of people that's on the show, you're going to see their vulnerabilities where their emotions are high, where they're heartfelt, they're scared, they're excited. You're going to see anything that you could think in real life drama, you're going to see it, and it's not man-made. It's not like fictional created. This is like real life. And when I saw it, I was like, man, wow, whoa. Some of the stuff scared me, and that's the stuff that I lived through. You know what I mean? So I was like, man, I did come back from it. I remember that. Oh, like when you see all the stuff and you see the way my family responds to it and the people around me, and the way you touch people, you know what I mean? And our, like my old partner in crime, like Angel was in there, and you see how she gets emotional about it too. And you see Ted in there, like our guy here at the race shop. You see Brad, my team manager. I never knew Brad. I said, Brad, man, you're actually good for TV, man. You look cool, calm, man. And my wife, you know, I say, we need to have a housewives of drag racing. Such a no, we don't. No, we don't.
Baby.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Wow. Were you surprised at hearing yourself reveal things about yourself that you'd never done before? Once it's out there on the table, it's out there on the table, and you have to live with it.
Stat man, let me tell you something, man. Is my life always has been an open book, and sometimes, you know, I've been part of this freak nation for a lot of years, and I have let stuff slip on your show that I should not have let slip. You know, Kenny does a good job of that. And, yes, he does. I'm like, dog, Kenny, you got me again. You got me again. You got me. But the thing about it is that I think it's refreshing where I'm able to just do me and be myself in this deal. Like, I'm not putting on a show. Like, that's one thing you guys know about me. I'm like this every day. This ain't me putting on a show, cracking jokes. You saw at the PRI show, we see each other at the SEMA show, wherever shows we're at, there's AB. AB doesn't change. So I'm an open book, and I just like to have fun with everything I do. And this right here was just a deal where the can was open, but now I got to pour it all out. So people could see every side of me, the business side of me. Everybody knew the racer side of me and the professional on TV, but they get to see me in my everyday life.
Well, who's going to be swimming away from you at the pro race in Bradenton? Oh my gosh, are the drivers excited about what you guys have put together? Money is on the line. Big money, baby. Who's going to be swimming after you?
I tell you what, they better get on, because we coming. We coming. We're going to swing for the fences, and we're going to be there testing for 3 days prior to the event. So hopefully the weather holds out where we could put a good event on, and we're excited about it. I'm very, very excited about it. And man, the tension's all high, and people are talking junk because they could talk junk.
One thing I love is Greg Anderson had an amazing quote. I don't have it in front of me right now, but he said something like how much he's looking forward to this Bradenton money race, how it's going to break up the monotony of what you guys are used to, and how it's just something that's fresh. And like whether it's concerts that are going to be there or the chip system that you're going to use for who goes against who at every round. He's so excited about it because how it's just something different, and maybe something can translate into NHRA speak down the road in the future.
Well, absolutely. And this is a race just to bring some more excitement, because Gainesville is going to be a couple weeks after that, like 3 weeks after that. And we're just trying to draw more people in, and also to put some more stuff out there that people have never seen before. Like in the nitro categories, if you don't make the top 8 to race for the big money race, you're going to still race for some money, because we're going to have a funny car top fuel shootout race where funny cars race against top fuel cars. So when you're looking at that there, that's going to be a whole different narrative. And then you're going to see everybody running at their best, having a good time. And actually, the cool part is that our sport is on demand. Like literally, like people want to see us all over the place. And then we never get to go to South Florida. So we get to go to Gainesville, but it's 5 hours from Miami. we're going to be in Braden, Florida, where we're only a tick away. So we could draw some of those Southern Florida natives up there to come see what we do and to expose them to what we do and bring some excitement down there. And it's just going to be a win for everybody. And Pros.car is excited. We have the invitational sportsman cars coming. So basically, it's an invitational. It's going to be the baddest drag racers on the planet are showing up.
Freak Nation, coming up Thursday, February 1st, 8 o'clock on MAVTV. You don't want to miss this one. The Life of Antron Brown, again on MAVTV. Antron, 2024 season is here. Good luck coming up in February in that big old show down there in Bradenton. It's going to be badass, my friend. It's always fantastic when we can spend a few minutes with you, buddy.
Well, I appreciate you, Kenny. It's always a pleasure being on the SpeedFreaks with the Freaks Nation. And hey, man, to stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of stuff coming out, and I'm just excited with this In the Life show coming out on MAVTV. You don't want to miss it, and we want to see everybody at the Freak Nation at some NHRA Mission Food drag races this year.
Coming up in the second hour, Freak Nation, the only woman from the United States of America to do this in the Dakar Rally. She'll be here, and some say the greatest two-wheel pilot ever. He'll be here in the second hour. It's coming up. SpeedFreaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studios, and on MAVTV.
SpeedFreaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
There is less than 1/100th of an inch of motor oil protecting your car's engine. Friction and heat causes engine oil to experience thermal breakdown, weakening its ability to protect the engine and its parts. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is specially formulated to resist thermal breakdown, protect vital engine parts, and extend the life of your engine. It also stops smoking, knocking, and oil consumption in worn engines. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. Keep that engine alive.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to WWTRaceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAVTV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAVTV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAVTV, Motorsports Network.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. 3 things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We're told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code FIT or text FIT to 511-511 and claim 40% off today.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee.
Text FIT to 511-511. Morning Kick. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Please hang up and try again.
Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
Man, hey man, I'm liking this second hour, Freak Nation. In the next 60 minutes, you are going to see the only woman to win a stage, the only U.S. woman from the United States of America win a stage in the Dakar Rally. Sara Price will be here in the Freak Nation. Also, Kyle Peters, your Arenacross points leader, 4-time champion. And a lot of folks say he is the best Arenacross driver ever. He's going to be here in the Freak Nation. And Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen, celebrated 69 years. He would have celebrated his 69th birthday a few days ago. I interviewed Van Halen back in 1998, one of numerous times I had a chance to sit down with Van Halen. We're going to see some of that coming up this hour. And one of the most disappointing stories of my career and Statman's career, collectively, that goes along with Van Halen. That's all coming up here in the second hour.
It might be the wrong D word. It's not disappointing. It's dumbest.
Yes. So I'm looking forward to this second hour, Freak Nation. We are on MAVTV. We're on the Freak Radio Network, Facebook pages across the planet, YouTube. Thank you guys for hanging out. Be sure to log on to our YouTube page throughout the week to see the full length of some of these interviews at Official Speed Freaks. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're there for you, man. You can't escape the Freak Nation. And again, 100 plus radio stations, including Sirius XM, across the planet. Dane Cameron joined us last hour. He is a part of the Penske team that won the overall for the Daytona 24-hour. He joined us last hour. And the reason I bring that up was we know that Roger Penske, of course, owns the IndyCar Series. Indianapolis Motor Speedway has won himself hundreds of races in the IndyCar Series and Indy 500 champions, so forth, so on. In fact, his driver last year, 2023 Indy 500 champion, Joseph Newgarden, won the Rolex this past weekend and, of course, won the Indy 500 last year. But I bring this up. Statman, you brought this to our attention several weeks ago, and now we finally get a chance to talk about this. NBC is the home for a plethora of motorsports and sports, but motorsports. In particular, NASCAR, Supercross, IndyCar. You saw their coverage with the Daytona 24-hour. But go to a 3-shot there, Richie. As we said at the top of the show, Crasher, unable to make it for this show. She'll be back next week. Richard C. Swaby's sitting in her seat having to fill the big shoes there, Big Daddy. Nice job for the first hour. But we saw this week. Statman brought this up. If you look at what's happening here, let's throw a 3-shot, bang. Follow me here. This is the cover of NBC Sports cover page, okay? Up top, you see all sports. You see PFT, Golf Channel. Okay, that's great. But let's say you go look for the NASCAR page, all right? You go to all sports. Bang. You see NASCAR right there, but you don't see IndyCar. But this is the home for IndyCar. Oh, they're going to be underneath motorsport. No. Yes, they're going to be covering the Rolex 24 and Supercross because that's the two series that are going off right now. But there's no mention of IndyCar. And I get it. The IndyCar season hasn't lit up yet. But just the fact that there's not a tab for IndyCar, this on the heels of what happened last week where this all-star, what do they call the race, Richie?
The All-Star Challenge.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
In Thermal, California, where $1 million purse, where it came out that they're going to charge $2,000 plus an $80 fee, where you could go see this special All-Star IndyCar race. $2,000. Now, last week, they dumped some of those down to $500. Statman was on it first, complaining about putting this wall behind the gates, and some saw armed guards there, guards in front of this multi-million-dollar housing community. But we weren't the only ones. A lot of people jumped on it and were disappointed that the IndyCar is doing this. And now they take the prices down to $500 for those who were a part of the email. Yes, they got them, evidently. I don't know how they're doing. And then, of course, we have this issue with the NBC Sports website where you can't find an IndyCar tab. Statman?
That's pretty, it's pretty insane. There was a headline from IndyCar in today's Rolex, and then Joseph Newgarden, I think he's a two-time champion, last year's Indy 500 winner. And so there is a headline. He was in the winning car. So there is a headline attached to the Rolex 24. But if you wanted to go to the NBCSports.com website, you're going to find rugby, dog show, golf, figure skating. You're going to find all of that, but no IndyCar. You got to go to another level of motors, and you got to hunt around to find out something that's a significant headline. An American driver who won the defending champion of the Indy 500, won today's Rolex, helped Roger Penske get to his first win at the Rolex in 55 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to find it. You're going to have to drill and search for the story on the NBCSports.com website.
Richie, why don't you see it?
That's a great question. I don't understand that at all. If you're paying a decent amount of money, like NBC is for all these motorsports series, you'd think that the ones that you own the rights to would want to get more love from your TV affiliate. And I believe IndyCar is coming up for a TV contract in the very near future as well, just like NASCAR has, starting next year. So it's very, very, very strange. And as far as the Thermal Club thing, only 100 of those discounted tickets were available, and they were only to the IndyCar Nation memberships. And you have to pay at least $39 a year to be able to get into this membership. It goes from about $39 all the way up to $139 for adults, just to be able to maybe get the email to afford the $500 tickets that were only up to about 100 people, as far as I know. And as far as I know, I haven't seen if those have sold out yet or not at the $500 level.
You know, this continues. This actually irritates me because they make all these noises about finding young people to take part in motorsports, to learn about motorsports, to become the new fans of the next generation, while my generation is falling off the back of the grandstand. But they're doing everything they can to block everything. What high school age kid has got $39 to spare to be a part of the IndyCar Nation? $139 to spare, $500 to spare, $2,000 to spare. Who's going to take the time to find their way through an armed guard at a gate in the desert in Southern California? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. They're asking for people to be a part of it, and they're doing nothing to make it possible.
Now, I'm probably going to step in it here, aggravate some folks with this comment, but rock stars do it. I know that some rock stars, whether it was Pearl Jam or Bruce Springsteen or others, who've tried to curtail scalpers coming in to where some of the lower income fans could buy tickets. But at the same time, I understand it's one time for every 2 or 3 years when these rock stars come through, and there are numerous IndyCar races. But you could buy VIP packages to go hang with Sammy Hagar, to go hang with Skinner, to go hang with Lincoln Park. Excuse me, not Lincoln Park. I mean, One Republic. But I don't hear a lot of people bitching and moaning about that. Well, we are. It's because maybe it's Statman that we're so close to IndyCar that we're trying to give out that vibe that we hear you, IndyCar Nation. Those of you that are griping about you can't go see a race unless you got $2,000 to fork over to get behind the walls.
Yeah, and that's not the only issue here. When you talk about rock stars, for example, they've got all sorts of ways that you could watch what they're doing through MTV, through MTV2, whatever it's called, VH1, through radio, through Sirius, through all sorts of things where they could listen to the music. They could buy the rock star song for $1.29. They could do all they want to do to be a part of that person's world. They could just sign a thing to join up for their get fan mail, email from them. There's all sorts of things that they could do to keep track of who that person is. But if you want to follow Joseph Newgarden or Scott Dixon or Pato O'Ward or Alex Palou, you want to find out what they're doing, you don't have a special channel to go through. You have to write in to be a part of their world, and their world is generally involved in sponsor worlds. So it's not the same thing. Right. There's no real effort to attract the younger person, say 16 to 18 or younger, 12 to 18. There's no way nothing's being done to attract them, and that's the future of the industry.
What do you think, Freak Nation? Speed Freaks on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Let's hear from you, man. Coming up next, the only woman from the United States of America to win a Dakar stage. Had to think about it real quick. Her name is Sara Price. She is badass. She joins us next. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas Fuel Treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system, pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAVTV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAVTV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAVTV, Motorsports Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Freak Nation, Lucas Oil Studios, almost 24 years of doing Speed Freaks, the Freak Radio Network, and of course now on MAVTV. You saw the Dakar coverage on MAVTV, and we've been chasing this girl, winner from Dakar, Sara Price, for quite a while. And it started prior to winning a stage in the Dakar Rally in the T4 class. She joins us now here in the Freak Nation. And so many things we want to talk about, Sara, but if you could give me an inclination of when this Jones of getting a Dakar Rally started. I don't need the full 10-minute version, because the money it takes to run a Dakar, even in a class like T4, is bonkers. When did this start for you?
So since 2015, I've been trying to get to the Dakar Rally, and I've had an amazing career on 2 wheels and then transferred into 4 wheels, and I've raced all sorts of different disciplines, as well as getting other opportunities within that time. So from 2015, until now, I've had a lot of different opportunities. But this year, I finally said, I've been trying to get to Dakar. I've been trying to find that one sponsor to really step up and help me get there, but it just wasn't happening. And so I finally was like, you know what? I'm going to spend my own money. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to put all the eggs in one basket, take that leap of faith for myself. And I'm going, because it's my dream to make it to Dakar Rally. That's the pinnacle of off-road racing for me. And we did it. And, beyond proud. It was it's crazy.
Hey, Price,
honestly.
hold on a second. Listen. That's $500,000. How many people have $500,000 to go grab and throw it into a race that, frankly, I don't know what the return of investment is?
So I actually had some amazing sponsors that did step up, a lot of them. So I got about half of it funded. The rest of it, I've been working hard in the stunt world and also in businesses. So I owned an auto paint touch-up business at one time, and I sold that this last year in order to help fund this as well. And I've made some good, financial decisions over the years to make myself, feel comfortable and set up to this spot in my life in order to make this chance. So I always say, you can make money and you can figure that out later. As long as you have the will, the drive, and you want to make it happen, you can. I honestly could just knock on people's doorsteps and just be like, hey, you need your dog poop cleaned up today? Cool, give me $20 and I'll just keep going door to door. So I know I'll be okay.
And all the dog poop bag companies are now coming to you now that you just made that reference. But no, seriously,
it's as simple as that. It's if there's a will, there's a way.
I just don't understand this, though, because you are an X Games medalist. You are the first American woman to ever win a stage at Dakar, the third woman in the world altogether to do so. But you were also the first female winner for Chip Ganassi Racing. Everybody knows Chip Ganassi from either NASCAR or IndyCar or sports cars. That guy's won a ton, and you're on that winners list for him. How come sponsors aren't chomping at the bit to get behind you? You're young, you're good looking, you've got a vibrant personality, and you're damn good behind the wheel.
Thank you. It's kind of, I'm not totally sure. I think because Dakar is still so foreign to a lot of Americans, I think since Americans are now having more of a presence over there, there's not so much of a gap, but I think we still have that little bit of a gap. And so it's kind of just being familiar with what it takes, being familiar with what Dakar is and how tough it really is. Because there is nothing tougher than the Dakar Rally and off-road motorsports, like, hands down. I experienced it myself. It's wild, and the strategy behind it. And I think about that every day. Off-road racing, I think in general as a whole, we are behind when it comes to sponsorship and when it comes to companies and OEMs involved in a big way. And it needs to get more like that. I'd like to see OEMs have factory teams in the side-by-side class and kind of start the battle of the factories and the OEMs. But for some reason, off-road racing's always been a little bit behind on the sponsorship side. And the ROI is there, especially with the Dakar Rally. So hopefully we see a change in this, and hopefully I can be the difference. And, I'm transparent talking to you guys about it. And I think that's what it takes.
You've talked about being a rally driver and competing in rally events. Is the Dakar Rally the only one? Have you run in American rallies, European rallies, the World Rally Championship, or is it just off-road?
Mainly off-road in America. We don't have true rally raid where you're using the navigation like we do in the Dakar. But we race like Sonora Rally. That's the closest thing we have in our continent. And then there's other rallies. So like the rally Ashade Gazelle did in 2015 with my best friend Erica, and that was in Africa. That was a navigational based rally. And then like hill climbs and kind of rallies like that. But other than that, it's been just American off-road or Baja, where it's long, fast races.
A lot of off-road guys are either short course in the stadium or just sprint from one place to the next, going down to the Baja. But you're talking about something that's far beyond that, the navigational, looking at the stars, for crying out loud, to figure out where you're going and not reading tulips on a map or GPS. Good for you. What got you into this? That's very esoteric.
Yeah, if you meet anyone who really knows me, they're like, "Oh man, when Sarah sets her mind to something, it's kind of like she's unstoppable." Like I call it this flip of a switch I have. Like if I was racing and my arm was falling off, I'd still finish because I was so determined. And so I like to push myself. I like to know I can do it, and I want to be responsible for it. So like for instance, in 2019, when I Iron Woman the Baja 1000 and we ended up winning the championship, everyone was like, "You're crazy, like you're first in points. Why are you going to do that? You're going to get tired, you're going to make a bunch of mistakes, and you're going to lose your championship." And we potentially had the championship to win the overall score in a national championship as well. And I was like, because I want to know that if I lose this race and I lose that championship, it's me driving and it happens to me. And I'm the one responsible for losing this because I put so much work into it. It's the same thing, going into the Dakar Rally. It's putting that just in your head, like, I'm doing it. I'm going to do everything I can to be as prepared as possible and have confidence in that. And I have no idea what's coming my way. I did not know what was going to be happening, but the Dakar Rally was the unknowns, and I was prepared as possible. So we gave it our all.
Now, some of the funny questions I'd like to ask are sometimes personal. Well, they're always personal. That's just who we are. We didn't survive the freaking barrage of 24 years not asking personal questions. But when it comes to hygiene in the Dakar Rally,
really?
What?
I have some stories, but I don't know if you guys need to hear some of these.
What Price? Come on, man. We're called Speed Freaks, and we are freaks. That's just what we do here. Statman was raised by sisters. My daughter's 10 years old. Crasher's been a prominent force in motorsports for 24 years. My mom and sister are two of the strongest women I've ever met. I don't get embarrassed. I'm just fascinated on how badass women are. So tell me, how is the hygiene in the Dakar?
It honestly, for myself, it wasn't bad. And Ricky actually makes fun of me because he's like, "How in the hell do you have time to like still have skincare routine in Dakar?" And I was like, I kind of went off the wagon a little bit, but I still like take care of myself. And so I'm really big on like the moisturizers because I hate the feeling of like your skin just feeling dirty and like not like too like stuck.
Yeah.
And so no, that was pretty good, all that. But the going to the bathroom thing, I'm used to Baja where it's like sometimes I just have to pee myself in the truck, right? It just is what it is. You're a female racing long hours, and so I always put diaper cream on. Usually have to pee myself in the truck if you're going to be in the truck for 20 hours. But in Dakar, we have fuel stops. We have start stops. And so you're always stopping at these positions. So you pretty much can like take a quick pee break. And the guys have it a lot easier. And I'm in Saudi Arabia trying to find a spot. And there's times when my cheeks are just hanging out. And I'm like, well, whatever at this point, because I got to go. I got to go racing. And it is what it is. But for the 48-hour chrono, that was quite, for me, this is like something I tell my friends. And I'll just tell you guys now. It's quite gnarly, but not really. So we pitch our tents and we sleep out right by our car on the 48-hour chrono. So they provide us that whenever you get to your certain stop. We stopped at the pit C, basically. So there was 7 of them you could choose from, but A and D shared the same one. So that was like a really major one for the people who made it to A or the people who made it a little further than me to D. And so I was sitting there, and in the morning, like me and my navigator, Jeremy, we're just like, okay, the dirt bikes are on one side, you have the cars on the other side of this little bivouac they set up with a fire in the middle. And in the morning, I just look over, and there's a dirt bike guy right in the middle of the bivouac just taking a squat. And I'm just like, wow. I'm like, this guy does not care whatsoever. And then he's just like, my navigator's like, man, that's some dominance right there. He is marking his territory right in front of everyone.
Again, Freak Nation, Sara Price, the first American woman ever to win a Dakar stage in the T4 class, to ever win a stage, and she did it in the T4 class. Thank you very much for doing this with us.
Thank you.
And coming up next, Freak Nation, you watch Arenacross right here on MAVTV. Well, the guy running roughshod over every freaking Arenacross driver, your 4-time champion and your points leader, Kyle Peters. Next, SpeedFreaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studios, and on MAVTV.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to WWTRaceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAVTV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAVTV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAVTV, Motorsports Network.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet, so make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Freak Nation, as we've talked about, MAVTV, of course, airs the Arenacross series. So why not go for your points leader and, of course, four-time Arenacross champion Kyle Peters joining us here in the Freak Nation. But Kyle, when you're a four-time Arenacross champion, frankly, why haven't you moved into Supercross and gone up there and tried to kick those guys? Or I say up there, go over there and tried to kick those guys' ass.
So I turned professional. I raced Supercross from 2012 up until I ended up getting hurt, getting injured in 2022. So I raced her for roughly 10 years, had some success, was on some factory teams, and I raced two seasons with my current team, Phoenix Racing Honda. So I've been over there racing. I had my big injury, and then not sure kind of what was going to happen and that. So stuck with Arenacross last year. Possibly after this Arenacross season, possibly go back to Supercross and run a few races.
Okay, a couple of questions for you here. I wanted to talk about your injury and then coming back and getting a championship. That's just a story in and of itself. But when it comes to Supercross versus Arenacross, you as a rider, at least if I'm reading and seeing and hearing things correctly, you're known for your precision on track. Would you say that Arenacross is a discipline that you need to be more precise? It is less forgiving than maybe a wider track like Supercross. Therefore, this just suits you so well right now in your career?
Yeah, I would say that. Arenacross is a smaller track. Guys all around you. We have 12 guys out there in the main event on a 20-second racetrack. So you're coming into lappers super quick. You're passing guys, and especially with our second main, which is inverted, we start on the back row if you win. It makes it very difficult.
Yeah, it makes it very difficult. And then let's just go to, I think it was not Guthrie, it was Boise, where the dirt was just crap. And you really struggled there, yet you still got a podium. So yeah, talk about the difficulties, whether it's lapped riders, it's just slower riders, it's dirt, or it's needing to be precise, even on a night when you're not feeling it 100% up here. How do you get through nights like that?
Yeah, absolutely. There are so many different variabilities to racing. You can change your bike setup, you can change tires. The dirt comes into play, how the track's breaking down, and then you just have your competitors, the racers, and then if you're doing well, you're coming into lappers that can come into effect. So there's so many different things that you have to kind of deal with Arenacross. It makes it very difficult, and this is my 5th year doing it. So I feel like I have a little bit of experience to kind of lean back on as far as bike setup. My team has done an amazing job with helping me through certain things with my bike and with the races. It's very hard to kind of explain what to do in the time, but yeah, we love racing. I love this Arenacross series. It seems to fit my racing style, I guess. And yeah, I hope to do it for a long time.
Hey, Kyle Peters joining us, 4-time Arenacross champion, your points leader in Arenacross, which, by the way, again, you can see it, of course, on MAVTV. Eli Tomac had the issue with his Achilles. He's gone. He's out. Well, he was out, of course, most of last season. You break your freaking neck. I don't give a damn if you're 15 or 50. Don't you just say, screw it, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I broke my damn neck, and I could have lost my life.
Yeah, definitely. This was kind of it changed everything for me. Before, my whole life has been racing, trying to get into Supercross, trying to make it, whatever that may be. But it happened the day after my birthday. I just turned 29, and it really changed everything, just because it was the unsure of kind of what I was going to be able to recover from. The doctor that I had surgery done, he was like, 90% of this injury, the people in this injury are paralyzed from the neck down. So that really scared me, and knowing that how close it kind of was. And initially, the whole goal coming back from the injury was to live a normal life, try to be able to do things that I love to do, whether it be snowboard, surf, just go mountain biking, just kind of live a normal life. And as I kind of came along with my recovery, my coach, Corey Worf, and I, we were just like, I've started feeling better. I was like, oh, well, maybe I could ride again, just go out and have some fun, and nothing too crazy. And then went and did that, and I'm like, oh, well, I feel pretty good. Maybe I could race again. I don't know how well I'll do, but we'll just maybe go out there and just kind of see. And yeah, it was kind of one of those things. It got closer to the race time, and I was kind of freaking out, not sure what to do. And my coach, Corey Worf, just told me straight up, he goes, as you know, in the sport, you can't dip your toe back in. You've got to be all in no matter what. And whatever is going to happen is going to happen. And I believe the Lord has watched over me so far, and will continue to do that.
Kyle Peters, 4-time champion in 5 years. It seems like Arenacross, I thought of it as a stepping stone to Supercross, but it sounds like you have Arenacross as a destination. Do I have that right, or am I missing something?
I think it is a destination. Arenacross and Supercross are very, very different in the aspect of kind of how you set up your bike. It's racing in a whole is you're on a dirt bike, but between Supercross and motocross, it's very different on how you race those and how you set up your bike and things. And along with Arenacross as well, it takes a whole different kind of aspect of what you can do well, where Supercross has they're similar, but they're definitely different in how you can set up your bike and the skills kind of to excel in them, if that makes sense.
Kyle Peters, again, 4-time Arenacross champion, joining us here in the Freak Nation. Again, you can catch Arenacross on MAVTV. Pardon my ignorance here, but I don't believe there is a feeder system into Supercross, motocross. It basically has to do with factories, and if you have enough money to make it into competitive position with those series, motocross, Supercross. But with the AMA involved in all three of those, motocross, Supercross, Arenacross, why isn't there a feeder series? And I'm not demeaning Arenacross, saying it's a step down, but why can't Arenacross be a feeder series into motocross, Supercross, meaning the winner or the runner-up and the winner, they get this certain amount of money, or they get a position on a factory team to move up into frankly, a more respected series in Supercross and motocross?
A couple of years ago, Ricky Carmichael started this Arenacross series it was the Arenacross series, but he started it to where if you wanted to move into Supercross to get Supercross points, you had to do the Arenacross series and then go into Supercross. And that was when Feld Entertainment owned Arenacross and Supercross. But now Supercross kind of started their own futures program, which lets amateurs race kind of the day before and the day of Supercross. But I think what they should do is kind of go back to the way they were doing it, going through Arenacross, earning your points, and then moving into Supercross, because there's so much to learn the night of, racing in front of the fans, like racing experienced guys that have been doing this for a long time.
Listen, Kyle, I've watched enough Supercross and some of those amateur races before Supercross, and I could do a better job than some of those dudes backwards on a bike blindfolded. So I hear what you're saying. I understand giving amateurs the opportunity, but it just seems what you're talking about here, the advancement into Supercross and motocross would make more sense.
I think you have a great idea. I think that's the way it should be done. It's one of those things where it's not our decision, and I think it'd be really cool to have the younger kids, amateurs, coming up and going through Arenacross into Supercross. Supercross is it's a stacked field. There's a lot of guys that don't make it. So I think Arenacross, it's something that I've grown to love. It's not something that I ever really wanted to do. The Supercross was the big goal, the big picture, and the team that I signed for, Phoenix Racing Honda, when I signed with them, they're like, we're an Arenacross team, but we'll let you go to Supercross as well. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, that's a good deal. And I got into Arenacross and ended up loving it. So.
Again, Kyle Peters, 4-time Arenacross champion, joining us here in the Freak Nation. You can watch Arenacross on MAVTV. Buddy, thanks for doing this.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
And in the last segment, going to like this one. Jimmy Johnson, John Force, Michael Jordan, SpeedFreaks, and Van Halen all have in common. That's next. SpeedFreaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studios, and on MAVTV and the Freak Radio Network.
SpeedFreaks, motorsports radio redefined.
There is less than 1/100th of an inch of motor oil protecting your car's engine. Friction and heat causes engine oil to experience thermal breakdown, weakening its ability to protect the engine and its parts. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is specially formulated to resist thermal breakdown, protect vital engine parts, and extend the life of your engine. It also stops smoking, knocking, and oil consumption in worn engines. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. Keep that engine alive.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up for one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAVTV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAVTV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAVTV, Motorsports Network. Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818.
That's 800-215-6818.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. 3 things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We're told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code FIT or text FIT to 511-511 and claim 40% off today.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee.
Text FIT to 511-511. Morning Kick. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Some funky weather out there, Freak Nation. That's why you should be rolling on General Tires. Go to generaltire.com. Check out the website to get some snappy new GTs on that ride. Rain, sleet, snow, big old mountains of snow. Telling you, man, your General Tires will take care of that. Go to generaltire.com. We know, okay, coming up, what Van Halen, Jimmy Johnson, John Force, Michael Jordan, Speed Freaks, what do they all have in common? The story's great. But Eddie Van Halen would have celebrated his 69th birthday last week. We got a great story, a great interview with Eddie Van Halen coming up. But with the Chiefs now in the Super Bowl, you found something from Darren Ravel, that came out on Sunday after the Chiefs win regarding Kansas City and, of course, Taylor Swift having to make a little overnighter to Las Vegas?
Yes. We call Travis Kelce Taylor's boyfriend. I do not refer to him by his actual full given birth name. So Taylor's boyfriend is going to be in the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, Taylor is going to be playing overseas in Japan. Her final concert of that weekend in Tokyo is on Saturday, Tokyo time. So this from Darren Ravel. I'm going to read verbatim here from his tweet. Taylor Swift performs in Japan the night before the Super Bowl. It will end around 10 p.m. Tokyo time, 5 a.m. in Las Vegas. The flight from Tokyo to Las Vegas takes 12 hours, meaning Swift can arrive at 5 p.m. local on the day before the Super Bowl. That's 25 hours, 35 minutes before kickoff. And if that's not a conspiracy, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what is. This is rigged. 100% rigged, the NFL. So they can get all the Swifties to tune into the Super Bowl. Highest rated Super Bowl of all time coming up. Yep.
Think about that. The show prior to the Super Bowl, which will be for us, I'm looking at my big fat calendar on the wall, which will be the 4th of February. We need to, again, we always go with Richie when we need some insight to numbers watching special television shows, whether it's the Super Bowl or Daytona 500 or whatever it may be. We'll go to Richie and see what the number might be here in the United States of America now that we know that Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift's boyfriend will be playing in the Super Bowl. So Richie, put pen to pencil, pen to paper, pencil to paper, whatever the hell you millennials use, and figure it out. All right?
Yes.
All right. Man, I'm telling you, the things you learn from Speed Freaks, it's incredible. Dane Cameron, one of 4 drivers with Roger Penske in a Porsche. First time Penske's won the Daytona 24 since 69, I think it was. Also heard a crazy stat where I'm going to screw all those stats up. I'm going to leave that to Stat Man, but I'm not going to throw Stat Man under the bus and have him try and come up with.
Screw up a stat better than anybody. So
all right, I'm not going to do that. Regardless, he joins us in the first hour. Antron Brown, first hour, which, by the way, The Life coming up February 1st, right here on Thursday. Check your local listings where you can see The Life on MAVTV. Antron Brown, 3-time NHRA Top Fuel champion. Some great insight to this dude on and off the track called The Life, coming up on Thursday on MAVTV. Also, Sara Price, the only woman from America to ever win a Dakar rally stage. She was here. And Kyle Peters, again, Arenacross, which you can see on MAVTV. Your points leader, 4-time champion, he was here. But how many shows that had this is why Speed Freaks have been going on for 24 years. I have a history in motorsports, yes, but I also have a longer history of dealing with music and musicians. First, I wanted to be a rock and roll radio disc jockey in high school. Wanted to play soccer and be a disc jockey. Kind of sound like my daughter wants to be a soccer player and veterinarian. Anyway, but my first gig was a rock station in Dallas, then went to Los Angeles and then Phoenix. But I spent a lot of time in the music on the music side of things. And where Statman and I first hooked up was with this TV station in Los Angeles, UPN News 13, KCOP. And Rich, you can go back to the 3-shot, which, by the way, Crasher, she'll be back next week. Statman and I hooked up. Well, we didn't hook up, but we got to know each other in the mid-'90s when he was working at UPN News, KCOP, and I was there as the entertainment insider, where I would bring in all these different bands. One week you'd see me with the Anthrax. Next week you'd see me with Celine Dion. You see me with Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Then you see me with Master P. Several times I had Eddie Van Halen and Van Halen on the show because what had transpired was Sammy Hagar left the band. Gary Sharon came on and on and on. But with Eddie Van Halen celebrating his 69th, well, he would have celebrated his 69th birthday last week. If you follow me on Instagram at Kenny Sargent, you'll see these old interviews that I'll post up. And this one's, I'm doing the math, 26 years ago when Gary Sharon came into the band after Sammy Hagar left the band. All right. I caught up with them. I actually think I interviewed them at the Whiskey A Go-Go. This might have been where it was. But Statman and I have a great story to tell you about Van Halen, something that happened with the station that we're working with or didn't happen. We'll talk about that. But here's the interview 28 years ago. What did I say, 28 years ago or 26 years ago with Van Halen and the great Eddie Van Halen, who would have been 69 years old last week.
Another hot band making news right now, of course, is Van Halen. Just a abominable split with Sammy Hagar, but Alex, Michael, and yes, Eddie. They say they got it right this time. Hey, Van Halen fans, get ready for Gary Sharon.
No, not Sammy. There you go. The singer of choice for the new Van Halen era is former Extreme frontman Gary Sharon.
And they asked me to be in the band, and I did one record with it. It's not fair to compare one record with two eras that were great. They make great music with these guys. But I'm not concerned about it, never was.
But it is a concern for many dedicated Van Halen fans, wondering if Gary can fit the bill.
Can't please all the people all the time,
it's like any of the skeptics. Let them listen to the record and then come and see us live. I mean, that'll put that all.
Hey,
I'll put it all to rest.
Mozart,
put it all to rest.
Beethoven, you name it, Chopin. I didn't like everything they did. Some people never accepted Sammy. Okay, well, buy the Roth records. We're not shoving anything down anyone's throat.
To silence the doubters is the release of Van Halen 3, as in third lineup. And you won't believe where much of the music was conceived.
Basically, every idea that was given to me for this record came while sitting on a pot. And without
No, it's a good thing we don't write together in the same room.
Now, with a new singer in place, a new album, and a concert tour to follow, what can we expect to hear?
I think for the last 11 years, it was very difficult to do some of the older stuff because, quite frankly, Sammy didn't want to do it. I mean, and with that in mind, and in respect to what he didn't want to do, so we just didn't do those songs. But they are part of the band's history, and people ask for them. And so I think this time, with an open mind, we're going to just do whatever we feel like doing and see where we land.
Now, Statman, without digging too many rabbit holes in this, again, this is where you and I met. We met at this station, and you were the producer of that show, executive producer of Sargent Saturday Night, where we go to a Borders Books, and we'd bring up bands to play live, and we'd feature some of the past interviews of that week that I did on that show. And Van Halen was on with us several times. But the kicker to the story, if you've got 60 75 seconds to share with the Freak Nation where we had a chance to do something with Van Halen that not a lot of people get to do.
Well, we had, excuse me, a lot of people stand in line for this. We had a chance to be backstage at an amphitheater east of Los Angeles in the Inland, it was called the Inland Empire. And we were going to be live. We were going to do Sargent Saturday Night Live backstage with Van Halen there. And we went out there, checked, made sure we could get the signal live from the backstage to the station. Everything was all set up. Would have been incredible. People stand in line to see and to be a part of this. And the program director said no. It's all set up. It's all ready to go. Everybody was standing in line. We hadn't promoted it. The program director said no. And I didn't bother. I remember his name vividly, but I don't remember it. In fact, he told us that that's a rabbit hole.
Yes.
But yeah, he said no. And don't know why. Could have been incredible programming. People stand in line to see that kind of programming. But the program director said no.
To get the label, band management, and every other entity that would put their hands up, put a stop sign, say, no, there's no way you can do this, said, sure, you could do a live shot.
Live backstage. We could even show, a lot of times the bands will take the first two songs on a concert, and you could take that music and record that for, use on news programs and so forth.
Yep.
We were going to be able to show that live in Los Angeles. Incredible.
So there you go, Freak Nation. A special 2 hours of Speed Freaks, ending it with one of the greatest guitar players, and some consider the GOAT guitar player of all time. Eddie Van Halen would have been 69 years old last week, and you saw that snappy feature from 26 years ago. Thank you guys for being a part of this big old thing. If you miss any of it, go to the website, speedfreaks.tv. Go to our YouTube page at Official Speed Freaks. You can catch the entire show, the longer interviews that we do. It's awesome. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Statman, let's do it, buddy. Shoot the juice to the moose. And Statman,
cut it loose.
See ya.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas Fuel Treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system, pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAVTV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAVTV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAVTV, Motorsports Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to WWTRaceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
You're listening to Speed Freaks Motorsports Radio Redefined.